I feel like a DJ. I used to date a DJ, and I swear that she would stand, she'd have like her decks, and she'd go like, she'd like do all these hand movements, but I don't think anything was happening or connected to the movements she was doing. It was like, and then she'd like, I don't know, I think it was kind of a charade. Hi, I'm Mae Martin. I'm a comedian and a writer and an actor. I used to always start my sets by saying, hi, I'm Justin Bieber, and that would get a big laugh because it would kind of dispel the tension in the room about the fact that I look a bit like a boy and I have short hair, and it was only after a few years of doing that I realized I shouldn't have to do that. I felt like I had to address that, or else it was like the audience couldn't relax, and I had to be self-deprecating in that way. Just before lockdown happened, I was about to go on tour, so I'm supposed to be on tour now with this new hour of stand-up that I have. Here it is in my book. This was the set list. It's most of it just key words. I have a big bit that I'm excited about rooms and how embarrassing it is that we all have rooms, that we're like, this is my room. We all have, and then we decorate our room with objects to reflect our personalities, and we're like, my room. And how our brains are like our rooms, and we furnish them with experiences. It's funny on stage. Look, I've always found that but it took me a while to get to this point, but that the more personal and embarrassing the thing that you talk about is, the more people relate to it. And so it could be something you're ashamed of that you think is so specific, and then you say it on stage and everyone's like, yes. Just like talking about getting horny watching Jafar in Aladdin, and Disney villains in general, but Jafar specifically, and so many girls in the audience were like, yes, Jafar is weirdly hot when he puts her in that hourglass, and he's like, I mean, yeah, Disney villains. I don't know what I'd say my aesthetic is. There's definitely an element of trying to be cool and imagining what potential dates and things would think when they walk in the door. You know what I mean? I have this, framed picture of Bob Dylan and things like that. I got a very good picture of Tom Cruise, which is autographed by him to my roommate, who's called Rosie, but he wrote to Hosey for some reason. So that brings me a lot of joy. I focused a lot on sexuality in my earlier stand-up career, and then now addiction and love and things like that. I think those are always going to be an aspect of what I talk about. Partly because I'm such a romantic and very consumed by relationships and things like that. I've thought that if something isn't really intense and roller coastery, then it can't be real love. And I've definitely been in very consuming kind of roller coastery relationships, and I think I've grown out of that a bit. Me and my writing partner Joe wrote most of Feel Good from my apartment, so we do full writing days just at my kitchen table. So we tried to make it a very fun and creative space. We did a lot of filming slow motion videos of us like somersaulting onto the sofa, and yeah. Sometimes there'll be a story that I really like telling on stage, and there'll be no punchline, but I keep thinking, no, if I just do it enough times, I'll stumble upon the punchline because I know it's good. Like a story about, I had this story recently about going to an old apartment of mine that I used to live in as a teenager, and I went at night and I went and stood and looked in the window of where I used to live, and there was this woman sleeping there, and so I found myself, like, I caught myself suddenly standing in the middle of the night looking through a window into someone else's home. Anyway, it's not a funny story. It was interesting to me, but I told it about 20 times on stage to total silence and just people being like, oh, I hope you're okay. Don't you think it's weird that the movies Ants and A Bug's Life came out in the same year? Got stuff about gender identity, of course. Boring. No, not boring, but like, of course I do. stuff about my teens, guilt, how my mum has a group of friends called the Goddess Club, that they've named themselves that. Anyway, look, it would have been a good show. I gotta, when it comes time to do it, it's going to be really rusty, but I am pumped about it. I just need to wait until there's a normal world to do it in.